Welcome to Tower Gardening Made Easy, and I'm Sherry. Well, today I want to share some footage with you with a time lapse of what it took to grow these little baby watermelons. It's time to harvest them all and turn this tower over. Before we do that, let's take a look at what it took to grow them. I hope you guys enjoy that footage. Okay, it's time to say goodbye to the watermelon tower and start over. And I've got grand plans where I'm going to be taking the new sugar baby seeds, start them again, and I'm going to put them in a different tower. And I'm also going to be doing a large trellis over the top. So if you've watched any of my videos, and I'm going to post my cucumber one here, we're going to be doing a similar trellis over the top of the tower for the new watermelons and see how they do. And I have a sneaky suspicion that they're going to do even better, just as the cucumbers have. So let's go ahead, turn the camera, and take this tower apart and clean it. So we have a few more watermelons to go ahead and harvest. I think two of them are okay, and one I'll probably have to sacrifice. But as you can see, I'm going to get up close here so you guys can take a peek. This tower still has a lot of life and longevity. If I really wanted to keep her going, I could definitely do that. There's stuff that I could, go ahead and self-pollinate right there. I got some male, I got some female. But the issue is that there's just a lot of stuff on the inside that's just starting to get old and crumbly. And if you look here up on the top, underneath my arugula base right there, I just have some buildup of algae and some nutrients. So it's just for the sake of the tower being healthy. And I've noticed that there's a slowdown with the water. So I can hear it as the pump turns on, but there's just so much root on the inside that I just don't think that it's getting what it needs. So unfortunately, as beautiful as this is and still as healthy as it is, I'm going to go ahead and harvest what I can, take it apart and put it through the dishwasher. So if you've watched that video before, we're going to go ahead and give it a nice, good citric acid clean in my dishwasher and then put it back together. All right, so let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so let's go ahead and harvest the top. It's all arugula and it's ready. And I want to harvest it before it starts to get bitter. And there's quite a bit of it. So I also too, there's so many things that are going on in this grow room. I feel like I'm so behind with catching you guys up. I've built a complete baby green tower. There's nothing on it as of yet, but I'm going to start getting back into the grow room, getting back to work and stop playing so much in terms of being in Newport and being outside on my bike and my scooter and just enjoying. So it's time. It's time. And today is a really good day to do it because it's like super hot outside. So I'm in the AC and let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and harvest this. And what I usually do is I just take that whole block out. I'm not even going to, do the cut and come again method. Um, I have so much in the grow room that I just want to go ahead and harvest what I can. Probably going to be donating some that I don't need. And as you can see, that's just a beautiful, cluster right there. And then I'll probably be throwing out a little bit as well. So this is all super, super healthy, but it's time. It's time. I do love arugula. I have to say, it's one of my now favorite things to grow on the tower. And one of the reasons is that it has so much flavor, and the leaves are very crisp when they grow. Some of the other lettuces, they tend to be kind of floppy. And what happens with the hydroponic is it just gets, um, it can get a little soggy, but as you can see, this is like very crisp. So we got a little more to do. And this tower is ready. It's really dirty. It's dirty. Needs to be taken apart. It hasn't been cleaned probably since I got it, which was February. That's when we planted the first set of watermelons. So, here it is, almost the end of July. So it's been 5 months, and that's really kind of what you want to look at a tower. It's longevity. I would say 5 months. It really depends on what you're growing, but you can just tell. You can just tell by the leaves and how healthy it is that they start to get. The tower starts to look cruddy. It's time. I know this has got longevity. I know it does. But in my mind, I say, I did it once, I can do it again, and I can do it better this time. The cucumber, which is right here, and I'll back up for a quick second so you can see it. This side is lagging just a little bit, but this side is really full. It's all filled in, and there's cucumbers everywhere, little and really big. So I know that the watermelon um, vine is different than the cucumber. It's much more jungle-like. I think I've said that a few times in my videos. But that type, and here I'll cut this so you guys can actually see. It's three-dimensional, and wrapping that around a trellis and then giving it the fruit proper support. It's game on. Let's grow some really good big size watermelons. I mean, bigger than what I produced if you watch the last video, and I'll post that here. So they were really yummy, but I think I can get them just a little bit bigger. So we're going to go ahead and do that. A little more arugula back here. And you know what I love about this too, the arugula, the roots don't get too big, which is good. But I'm very curious to see what the root system, when I open up this tower, what it's going to look like on the inside with the watermelon. I have a feeling it's pretty aggressive because, again, I mentioned you can't really hear the water. I know it's going, but it's more of a trickle than a pour. And this pump in here is the powerful pump. So, all right, there's one back here, but it's not that big, not big enough to save. So I'm going to go ahead, and that's what we've harvested for the arugula. That's a lot. I don't think I can eat all that before it goes bad. So I'll be giving some to my neighbors. They love me. Okay, so I have a few more watermelons to harvest, and I think they might be ready, they might not, but that's okay. It's time. As I said, it's a good day. It's hot outside. I think if I put them on my windowsill, they might just ripen up just a little bit more. So I'll go ahead and put these over here, and we'll take a picture at the end so you can see them. But I just think with the proper trellis that I'm going to get, again, the one that I used for the cucumbers, that was free. That was on the curb. And this little guy, I'll cut him open, but I don't think it's going to do a whole lot. I don't think it's going to be ripe enough, but that's okay. We'll give it a whirl. And then the one that we watched for 60 days, this is right here. So we'll put them over here. It's been quite the journey to grow these. I know people were really excited when I did it. Kind of like, you can't grow watermelon. Sure you can. I'm doing pumpkins right now. I'll save that for another video because I need to do that. A little bit of a hiccup on that tower trying to get the nutrients right. You know, I kept thinking, you know, less is more, but you know, I think it's going to be fine. I've got one that's ready to be almost popping, ready to be pollinated. So we're going to work on that. Like I said, I need to get back on the bandwagon and getting some videos out to you guys so you can actually see what I'm doing in here. There's a lot, and then there's a lot of seeds that need to be planted into the rock wall and then put into the towers. But I've just over the summer kind of, you know, stayed back just a little bit, enjoyed it with my family. And now it's time to get back to work. But definitely have produced a lot of cucumbers and tons of celery, tons of lettuce. So I'm very happy about that. So let's go ahead and take this apart and give it a good clean. So I'm going to start with the lights, unplugging, safety first. And this thing is just mammoth. There's so much to it. I can't wait to kind of take it apart and see what's on the inside. I've got a few companion plants in here too that took care of those little black gnats. Also, too, you definitely want to stay tuned. I have something coming down the pipe that's going to get rid of your aphids if you have them. I've never had them before, but I knew eventually I'd get them. And I think it was just because I had an open window with the fan blowing in. And yeah, I got them on one tower, just in one section, but I caught it early enough and I used a very specific product, not ready to share yet, but I will very soon. And it killed them instantly and didn't hurt the plant. It was 100% organic, and you're not going to believe the product that I used. It's going to blow your mind. But that's my secret for right now. I want to make sure that the plant did okay. I think it's just fine. So these lights have been on here for a bit. So sometimes you have to work your way around the tower just to loosen them. And a secret is to push down on the tower and push up on the lights until they are loose on all four sides. And you can see it starting to budge. So again, push down and then push up until that you can see them, the little hood of them. And then obviously get your cord so you're safe, and then push them, pull them right off. And then like an overhead press for you gym people out there. And there we go. It's off. So yeah, this is ready. This is kind of ooey gooey, kind of gross. It's gross. It's just, it's ready. Okay, time to turn the pump off. There we go. And we need to loosen um, the shower cap on top, baby green sections. I feel like I've put together these 10 towers. Actually, I've got more than 10 now. Um, some are in use, some are not. I've got a big pile of components over there on the sofa that need to be put together. Like I said, I'm so behind. And once I get going again, um, it's going to be a lot of fun this fall and winter with you guys indoors and the stuff that I've got coming for you. I feel like the knowledge that I have at this point, I don't feel like a newbie anymore. And I've really kind of experimented with different things in terms of pHs and nutrients and different kinds of seeds. Well, this is good. No black mold. So that's a really good sign. Very happy about that. So I'm just going to make a pile over here. If you watched any of my videos on what was it, the old tomato tower, we had some black mold, which was not good. But the citric acid took care of it, cleansed it, put it back together, and it's really, really just fine. So we got a little rock wall up here. And if you guys watched my not demonstration, but the video that I did about the different kinds of rock wall, should definitely catch that. Um, that's a good one where I talk about the different kinds of rock wall or different kinds of seeds. Um, this isn't bad, honestly, for 15 months, excuse me, since February. That's really not that bad for the top components. I really thought it would be kind of a hot mess, but it's not. Ew, in a shower. Again, yeah, this isn't bad. But again, this was just the arugula top, so arugula is pretty clean. Now we're getting into the meat of it here. So, um, because this was in here in its summertime, there's a little discoloration in the roots, and you can see that some of it's kind of blonde and some of it's not. And how do you deal with that? Well, that's a that's a really good question. Um, you can put hydrogen peroxide, about a shot, like a shot glass of it, into your tower once a week, and that will help with root rot. So again, I'm predominantly indoors. I've got one tower right now outside on my porch growing some tomatoes, and it's hot outside. So I've noticed a few things with that tower. And again, outdoors with the towers is a completely different animal than indoors. The nutrients are different. The pH is just a little bit different. And then obviously the water cycle is a little bit different as well. So I'm going to be putting these in a bowl to go upstairs, the little net pots. So that's been a little bit of a learning curve. And also my pool project is hopefully coming to an end very soon. Yes, it's been a long process with that. And my husband and I think we agree, probably not going to put towers out there. We're going to do some raised beds instead. Um, we don't really have a whole lot of room out there. So the pool's a little bit bigger than I think what I envisioned. But it's still going to be really, really pretty. And I can't wait to share that with you guys. I've done a time lapse on that as well. That's a whole other animal. Okay, so here we go. So these are the, we need to get a towel for this. These are the extension rods. So I get a little algae here on this first one. And not bad, but I'm just glad that I'm doing this now. Um, I I really didn't want to take it apart because I was just like, well, maybe. But then again, I go back to what I started in the very beginning. I don't want a house plant. I want a tower that's going to produce food, and it just is to the point where it's just too old, and it's time to say goodbye. It's kind of like what I did with the pepper plant, tomato plant, and it's important that you do that. You turn them over. You got to clean them. I mean, not that I'm going to save anything on this one, but my pepper plant, my pepper tower, I still have the very bottom of my pepper tower is my original peppers, and they're still producing. They're doing great. I've harvested many times off of them, and then if you watched my live a long time ago, to go back into my lives, there are some grocery store peppers that I bought, and we went downstairs into the nursery and we germinated them, and then we planted them, and then we planted them in this tower. They're doing amazing, absolutely amazing. I mean, the leaves are like this. So I can't wait for those to ripen. They're green right now, but they haven't turned red, orange, or yellow yet, but they will. And then I've got some hat peppers. If you watched one where I took nursery store, like, kind of outdoor grow center, and I put them in this, those are doing great as well. So peppers are something that are relatively easy to grow in your tower. They're not a high maintenance, and because they have a scent to them, you're not going to have an issue with, shall we say, like, bugs, because they have a scent. If you put a spicy pepper in there, which I've got 2 or 3 plants, I don't have one gnat or aphids or anything because it throws off a scent and they don't like it. So this is, there we go. Okay. So what do we got going on in here? All right, a little bit of root, not bad. Not bad at all on this top one. Again, I think this was more just from the arugula. And again, this is going to clean up really well in the dishwasher. Okay, so now we're at the level of where the first area of plants. Now here's my companion. And if you guys watch that video, putting companion plants into your towers, just a couple, really help. So I'm going to save her and I'm going to pop her into somewhere in one of the other towers in a minute. I didn't have a whole lot of spots in here to do that. So I just put one and that seemed to work. Okay, so now we're at the level of the first area I'm going to need to cut. So as we pull them out. So this is a good sign. So when you're taking a tower apart, pay close attention. So you know that this has been in here since February, but look at the roots. Okay, just a little bit of green, which is a little bit of algae, but they're mostly blonde. So that tells me that they don't have root rot. I've got beautiful flowers still on this. I could actually, if I wanted to, I could save this. It's got plenty of roots. And I could clean it up. I wonder, I just, because I'm ready to turn that tower over. So this just gave me a thought where this one is really healthy. I wonder if this would speed up the process of not having to go from seed. So, here we are on the fly. The net pot looks great. The roots look great. So yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to go ahead and save some of these because why not? They're healthy. We'll put them on the floor. So what else can we do? Can we save anything else to speed up the process of replanting the watermelon? Okay, so it's interesting. I really thought that the roots would be a little more aggressive, but so far they're really not. I'm gonna, I've got my finger on top of the net pot because I'm just gonna kind of trim out this a little bit. And then, they all look really good. This one looks pretty healthy too. So maybe the watermelon tower is gonna go a little bit faster than I really thought. I really thought it was gonna have to go from seed, but apparently not. So I think I'm gonna be down here a little bit longer today. What else we got? Okay, so here's one that's really kind of viney. Um, The bottom is a little yellow and it's just got kind of one vine to it. So, given that I have so many, it does have, I could probably clean it up a little bit. Um, I wonder if I snip it though. Okay, we'll save it for now and we'll make that judgment as we get down to the bottom. Okay, so we're ready for the next one. Here we go. Yeah, look at this. This is since February. That is super clean. It doesn't need to be clean, but I'm going to just to make sure if there's any, things that really shouldn't be on there. So let me go ahead and take this top one. Now this is really wound in here. Um, if you're gonna save it, you got to make sure you got to save some of the roots. So this one's kind of tangled. Um, I'm gonna give a pull. Let's just, because this is now getting into the meat of the plant, and I don't know. This is where I'm gonna have to. Here we go. Okay. All right. Give it a little twist. Um, all right. It's really entwined. So, um, okay. Well, no, this is just, I don't, not, I can see where the vine, it just was kind of too topsy. So it's not going to be a good support. So that's not one we can save. What do we got going on over here? This one is That. Okay, this one is in, all right, I got a root. And this one is wound into the trellis that's on the side, those little side trellises. So how can we do this? Like I mentioned, this is very 3D. And so it's very naked through the trunk here, but the ends look really good. But again, um, the net pot looks great. Look at there's no algae. It looks good. It's got a little browning. Again, I'll save until the end and then make a judgment call. So what do we got going on over here? Right, let me just grab some root, pull it up, and see if I can't. Yeah, this one is really, it's in there. Yeah, it's really wound. That's not worth saving, but I will save the net pot. Yeah, the roots are very interesting. They're not, what I do love is that there is no algae, none. It's awesome. Really, really good. I'm very happy about that. Some roots, not as many as I thought. And the inside of this tower is pristine, really, really, really clean. So what do we got? Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's a good one. Where are we going here with this? Here we go. Oh, I like this. Okay, all right. What are we going on here? Okay, so it kind of came off. And yeah, so this looks really good. We got two good sections. I'll have to trim it up a little bit, but we've got flowers on the end. The top looks okay, just needs to trim up just a little bit. So we'll save this one, put this one over here. She's pretty. Just got a little bit of leaves that need some attention. Not a problem. And then a little bit of root. I really I thought this was going to be filthy. I really did. Okay, so we got an extension here. Paper towel. I thought it was going to be like, nasty. Okay, so we got an extension here. I feel like with these towers, the learning never ends. There's always something that you pull from them. And I'm really happy that I really thought I was going to have to start over rather. But it looks like, maybe I'll have to put some new ones in there. But for the most part, if I can save some of these, I'm going to. Because we'll have watermelon in no time. No time. Okay, so again, look at this. Nothing, no algae. Like, I'm really, really impressed, guys. Wow. Now, my poor little trellis that I built, you guys watched that video, how to do a trellis that was like, I don't know, like under $20 from Michael's. Um, it has seen better days. All right, what do we got going on here? So this is the next one. I'm going to unclip these. I don't know oh, that's just the things. Okay, so, all right, before we do that, I actually think I'm going to pull these dowel sticks out of the trellis. I think it will make it easier to just go ahead and try to save some of these guys. Let's see. Where does this go? It's like a mystery. I'm gonna slide off these rings. We'll rebuild it at another time, maybe. It was good. Maybe not for watermelon because they're so heavy, but I think if you were doing like tomatoes, this would have worked like gangbusters. I mean, it did work just fine with this, to be honest with you. But I'm as you can see, I'm on the struggle bus trying to unclip it. Don't know. I'm gonna have to cut that one. I don't know where that goes. Unfortunately. Okay, so we got the first ring off. This would go a lot faster if I didn't want to keep them, but now I want to keep them. But you see why, because it's going to go so fast. I mean, it's like cloning your tomatoes. I will never do tomatoes from seed ever again. I literally just cut it, stick it in the rock wall, give it a day or two, maybe even a week in the nursery, and then I have roots and I put them right back in the tower. And within 4 to 6 weeks, if you've watched the tomato series, please do, because it is so, so easy to grow tomatoes, the cherry ones at least. They grow so well and so fast. Okay, this is pretty much a loss. Okay, so I think maybe those are the ones that we'll be able to save, and that's fine. It was worth a shot. Yeah, but the tomatoes, so fast. So anytime that I can do that, I will, as it just saves. Not that I want to eat watermelon year round, but maybe I do. I don't know. I will tell you that I made the best watermelon martini. So good. I took pieces of the watermelon, soaked it in some vodka, and then obviously the next day I took out the chunks, put the vodka through some ice, and then I just pureed it a little bit, and then added it with a little bit of lime juice. The bomb. Got to try it. Got to try it. Okay, so these are just a lot of. Again, I'd like to save them, but they are so wound in here that, yeah. I mean, they're just entangled. They're just in deep. So you know what? I got 1, 2, 3. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. These guys are just really in here. What do we got? I mean, I could try to save some of the little ones, like cut it. That would be interesting too, just to kind of, because it eventually would do its own little shoot. And that, oh, that's the main right there. So this is interesting. Okay, so this is the main part, obviously root, but this was a shoot right here off of the main, and then it has this whole new. So we'll save that one for sure. Okay, this one looks like it's got a little mildew to it. So on the back side, it was hard to get in there and groom it. But again, same thing. This one has a little shoot. So maybe what I'll do is trim her up, trim those roots a little bit, but no algae. And she looks really healthy. And that's a whole new shoot. So we'll save that. Okay, so now we're down to the next one. And again, crystal clean, guys. Really impressed. Okay. Sometimes you got to bang on them a little bit. Next part, crystal clean. I really thought this was going to be a full day job, but apparently not. So happy about that. All right. So what do we got going on down here? Our makeshift hammock. So the back ones, that was my support stick. You got some roots. And give a little tug. Whoop. All right. No algae, looks really healthy. This one feels a little dry. So again, remember I talked about the water, how I don't know, it just wasn't moving like it should. And that was kind of my whole premise of taking this apart because I was like, it's time. Save that one. All right, what do we get back here? Nope. This one is a goner. So you know to recycle these, right? Got to recycle those. You literally just rinse them off and put them into your dishwasher. Now, if you guys are wondering when I restart these, if I'm going to pop those right into the tower, I'm going to treat them as seedlings. I would not give them full strength nutrients. I'd give them the basics, bring it back down to, real low where it's that basically 1 milliliter per gallon. I'm going to be going to a flex with these versus a home. So give them minimal food just to kind of get them stabilized. Um, Also, too, um, for you guys who are newbies, okay, this is a goner. Even if you're growing indoors where it's hot, you definitely want to cut back on the nutrients just a little bit if your room is humid. I've had to add a dehumidifier to kind of, even with the AC on, it still gets humid. Think about all the water and all the lights and all the energy. So you definitely want to cut back just a smidge. All right, so let's get our roots first. I want to capture those. What do we got going on back here? No, too leggy. Although, no, yeah, I'm being more selective now because I just, all right. Again, I really thought I was going to be dealing with, some heavy roots in here, but I'm not. They seem, I would say, out of all of the things I've grown so far, when I've turned over a tower, the most aggressive thing you can grow in terms of roots that are inside the tower are beans. How crazy is that? And it doesn't take long. Those beans, once you put them in there and they start to produce, and then you harvest them all, you have to take the tower apart. You can't just like stick more in there because the roots are so aggressive, so aggressive, and they clog the holes. It's not like they can't stay. Well, they can't stay in there if they're dead because it will just start to slowly break down, and you'll be fighting with your pH every single day. So don't do it. It's better just to start over. And beans are so easy. Oh my God. Just so easy. Okay. So we're down to the last section of the tower, and there's still so much to go. But, I've saved what I can, and I'll show you guys in a little bit. Um, those are in there. So the dowel sticks, for the trellis. And it's totally, oh, I didn't even see this guy. Oh, no baby one. These guys just pop up. Like, I don't even think I pollinated that one. So that's wild. Looks like the size of a lime, but not going to save him because I know he won't be ripe. But can we save anything that's down here? Yes, there we go. Get a little bit of a root. This is good. You look at the bottom, no algae. A couple little leaves I'll have to trim off that are just because I was neglecting it for the past week or two with water and not checking pH. So these are probably just pH burns. But we got a good root, and it's nice and firm. I'll firm it up a little bit more, put them in the pile. And what do we got here? All right. This one looks pretty leggy, so nope. It's it's like if you're breaking up with your tower. You're ready to break up with someone, you're like, I'll call them back later. That's what I've done with this tower for, I don't know, the past couple of weeks, because I knew I was just going to let them harvest. I was going to harvest, let them ripen, and then it was time. It was time. So there's one that just pulled out on its own. What do we got down here? Yeah, this one's kind of old and cruddy. I mean, I could try to revive it, but I don't know. It's got a good stem, nice and firm, got little roots. Let's give it a whirl. She's cute. Darn pile. All right, so that's it. The rest is just vines. It's kind of, you can see the bottom right there. That's just all vines. So let's just go ahead and trim her up, get her off these. I mean, look at that. Look how aggressive that vine is. I mean, when I started growing these, I was like, and the way that the vine was growing, I was really, really impressed, scared, but impressed that it did so well. Now, if you're curious as to what seed I used, go into Tower Gardening, my website, towergardeningmadeeasy.com. Go under the nursery essentials, or sorry, favorite seeds. They're all right there. It's I forget the name of the packet, but it's a little baby. I think I have it. Hold on. Yeah, it's by Burpee. It's watermelon sugar baby. That was the exact seed that I used, and then I'll probably plant a little bit more. And they get to be, if you watched the video the other day, about softball size. And when the little tender on the top turns brown, that's how you know it's ready to be harvested. So you can make your salads or just eat it like we did, or be creative and make a watermelon martini. It was fun. It was fun. So, but I'm really excited. I was on Amazon this morning shopping for another trellis, kind of like the cucumber one. I don't think I want it that big. I think I want it more up and over, kind of compact, because I don't have a lot of space right here. But I really do. The secret to, I think, these viney things is look at. So when you look at, there's just like a lot of space that the leaves don't like, no airflow. So I think if I let it go wild, like I did with the cucumber, we're going to have watermelon. We're going to have a lot of watermelon. And I think, you could do that with pumpkins. My pumpkins they're hanging in there. If I could just get one, I'll be happy. But, it's a whole tower over there. But again, it's part of the squash family, and not all squash plants are meant for the tower. I think I can get one. If I can do watermelon, I can do at least one of those. So I'm not too concerned. Pumpkins, that is. And now I'm pruning just to get it so that it's off. It's a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. And I got to show you guys that you could grow something that's different than just tomatoes and peppers and lettuce. Okay. If you've watched any of my podcasts, I talk about the different phases. Obviously, phase one is your baby greens. You could do any of the lettuce, those are super easy. Collards, those are super easy. And that's the top coming apart. Phase two, I would consider peppers and tomatoes. That would be the next, because some of the like cucumbers, you have to self-pollinate. Peppers, you need to pollinate. So that would be your phase two vegetables. And phase three, obviously, would be squash, because those are a little more difficult in terms of the self-pollination and knowing the time of when to pollinate, how to pollinate. Obviously, watermelon would be there, but I don't know. I would actually put that into category of phase two because they really were easy, even though you have to self pollinate. You just have to make sure that you have both male and female. And sometimes that just takes a minute, and that's just the plant telling you that it's not quite ready. So, oh, that's rotted. So we'll get rid of this. That down there. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and separate so it doesn't get into the basin. I don't want that in the water. It's hard to get out. So I'll put this back on top. Um, this this one's rotted too. It happens. You know, you're in an environment with lots of water, humidity, and this is the top. Not too bad. No black mold. So I'm really happy about that. That was so scary, guys. It's so scary. All right. So to recap, as I'm sure you don't want to watch me clean this all up, let's just take a little tour on the floor of what we have, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so those are all the components that we're going to go ahead and put in the dishwasher. The main part of the tower you can see over there under that mess, that just needs to be hand scrubbed. I could do it actually outside with the hose today. It's very hot. It'd be fun to do that. And then stay tuned for the tower that I'm going to build. And then here's the yield, so you guys can see. Super yummy. Don't mind my table; it's like really dirty. And that's what we pulled off of the tower today. So that's super, super exciting. I can't wait to cut and open and see what's ripe. There's a few, like this little guy over here. I don't think that's going to be ripe, but that's okay. You know, all in all, I'll take that for the first time growing watermelons in my basement. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm not going to subject you to all this cleaning. I'll get it all cleaned up, no big deal. And we're going to get the next tower all set up for you with the watermelons. And then stay tuned because I'm going to be putting another trellis, not as big as the cucumber one, but something similar, but a little more compact. It's just going to be closer and then up and over the tower so that we can get the vines to go ahead and drape. I think that's really key for them. I'm super excited to do that. And we're going to be putting it on a flex this time, not a home, to see if we can't get more watermelons and actually get them just to be a little bit bigger. So I'm really excited to do that and bring that to you. And again, okay, so summer is kind of coming to a close. So I will get back on it with this channel. I promise. Doing a little more lives, being a little more committed. But I need one thing from you guys. Hey, as we move forward, I need you guys to comment what's going on with your towers in the community. If you have questions, that's how we build. That's how this channel gets built. If you can't comment, then the algorithm does not push my videos out, and I do not get paid from YouTube. This channel is not monetized. So I really hope you stayed to the end. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. I hope you like what's going on with this channel. I've got some fun stuff coming up for fall, and as we kind of close up the outdoor growing and come back indoors. So again, if you're really enjoying this, you have to comment down below. You just need to. Otherwise, I can't grow any more than we have, and the algorithm just shuts us down. So in order for me to keep going, I need you guys to really come with me on this journey. Comment below, and we'll see you very soon in the next video. Take care.